going to turn to our Faith Friday guest, and we are very excited about our next guest. She's the first woman to lead the Central Synagogue here in New York City in its 180-year history. It's one of the most prominent Reform congregations in this country.
Yes, and she is the first Asian American to be ordained as a rabbi in North America. Please welcome Rabbi Angela Buchdahl. Rabbi Buchdahl, thank you for being with us. And it's interesting, not only is it AAPI Heritage Month, but it's also Jewish American Heritage Month. Talk a little bit about how you were received in the Jewish community as the first Asian American to become a rabbi here in this country.
Well, I feel really grateful that I grew up in a very tight-knit Jewish community in Tacoma, Washington, where I was accepted and as one of only 3 Jews in my high school, my sister and I were 2 of the 3 of them. We were Jewish representatives in Tacoma, so people thought Jews looked like us. But once I left the little bubble of Tacoma and went into the wider Jewish world, I would say that I faced a lot of questions, and some of them were from curious people, and some of it was more challenging. And I think that Judaism in America has often been seen as very white, and that actually is changing quite a bit. But people do think of Asian heritage and Jewish heritage as 2 separate things. But if you actually go back into historical communities, there are actually historic communities in China and India that have been Jewish and Asian for a long time.
It's something you spoke on to that exact point there. Folks came to you after those tragic shootings at the spas in Atlanta. And they want you to speak as a member of and a leader of the Asian American community, but you more so see yourself as a leader of the Jewish community who happens to be Asian American. But that is actually a good point to make, in that you can't just depend on one group to handle their own issues. We all need to kind of be intertwined and helping each other out when it comes to, and sometimes, bigotry and hate.
Absolutely. I was hesitant at first to speak because I don't feel like I'm leading an Asian community. I feel like I lead a Jewish community, which is primarily not Asian. But I realized that I am a Korean American. I'm very proud of it. And I needed to speak in this moment. And I think, just as you said, one of the things I've learned as a rabbi is Jews cannot fight anti-Semitism alone, and we can't expect that the Black community has to fight racism alone, and the Asian community can't fight anti-Asian hate alone. And each of these racisms and bigotries have their own permutations, and they're a little bit different from each other. But at the base, we all are trying to fight prejudice and hatred and bigotry, and we need to do this together. And that was one of the reasons I felt like I had to step up and speak.
Well, you're going to do just that right now, as you'll be able to talk to Americans of every faith, of every culture right now. We always ask our Faith Friday guests to give us some inspiration heading into the weekend, so I give you the floor.
Well, that's beautiful. I know that my Muslim brothers and sisters just finished their holy festival of Ramadan, and we as a Jewish community are going into the festival of Shavuot this weekend, and that is a celebration of standing at Sinai and receiving our sacred text. But essentially, what our text says in Deuteronomy is that we were all there, meaning not just people back then at Sinai, but in future generations. And not just the elders and leaders, but also the water choppers and the water drawers and wood choppers. So people, women, men, children, even the stranger. And what we have an opportunity to reaffirm in every moment, and this holiday celebrates this, is that we each can have that mountaintop moment where we choose again to enter into a life of purpose, ethical living, a way that we want to treat our family, our business partners, the most vulnerable people that have come out of this pandemic, that we have an opportunity to affirm a sort of covenantal promise of who we want to be in the world. And I think that is a very hopeful message for us, and it includes anyone who chooses it. It wasn't coerced. We have to choose it each and every day. And let's go to that mountaintop and reaffirm our lives in this moment, wherever we come from.
Well, that is certainly beautiful. Thank you so much, Rabbi Angela Buchdahl. We appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.